Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This will be the comparison between the Inart figure on the left and the Hot Toys figure on the right, both Robert Pattinson Batman from the Batman movie. And I recently reviewed this figure by Inart. All throughout the comparison, Inart will always be on the left and Hot Toys will be on the right, just to keep that clear for you. But this is all happening because of my friend Logan on Instagram, who offered to send his Inart Batman figure for me to do these videos. So thank you again so much, Logan. And thanks to all of you out there for all your amazing support on the review for the figure. Comments were unbelievable and I enjoyed reading them very much. And from the heart, I can't thank you enough for all the support. I hope you enjoy this comparison video. Drop a like on it for me, leave me your comments after you've watched it, always good to hear from you, and I hope you enjoy it. I will just say I have got a custom collar on my Hot Toys figure and I didn't want to go messing around with it, so we'll just say Inart definitely wins, you know, as far as collars go, because you don't need a custom one for the Inart figure. It's already pretty much perfect. I'm no expert, but it's fine. You can see there's a gap between the neck and the collar like there should be, but with the Hot Toys one you definitely needed to, you know, spend a little extra and get a custom one. I got one from Art 15 and one from Unreal Toys, so I think it's the Unreal Toys one on here at the moment. It's been a minute, but I'm pretty sure it's that one. But they're both fantastic. I couldn't tell you which one's better, to be honest. They're both really good as far as the custom collars go. So yeah, we're gonna get down to it. I guess we'll start at the ears and work our way down. This looks so weird. You could, if you did a little bit of modding to around the nose area, you could fit the Inart mouthpieces in the Hot Toys cowl. It would be doable, but you'd have to do a bit of dremeling. But that's what it looks like when you try to put the Inart mouth plate in the Hot Toys cowl, which I wish you could do, because I do love that skin tone of the Inart mouth plate. I've got to try and get this on film for you. It's very awkward because I've got to hold the heavy camera with one hand tilted up to show you this. But the Hot Toys mouth plate just won't, that's how it's supposed to be in flush. And then I let my thumb go and it just loosens up and drops down and lifts forward. It just won't stay in there properly. See, I let go and it comes out, and from the front view it's making it look like his chin sticks out and he looks very strange. Just noticed that. It's bugging me. I'll have to keep an eye on that. I've applied a lot of pressure and it seems to have stayed in place now, but that makes me paranoid now. Every time I look at it I think, is his jaw sticking out slightly more than it should be? So we've got different shaped cowls. The Hot Toys one here gets quite wide as we get to the top, and on the Inart we don't really get that. It's more of a natural, I mean, you can, when you stare at it and imagine his head, his skull underneath it, it makes perfect sense. And then we come over here and that's just, it kind of implies that there's a lot more padding around his head to protect him. But it's definitely a different shape on the Hot Toys one here. Come over here to the Inart. I just prefer the shape of the cowl. So this is a picture of Robert Pattinson on set in the Batsuit, and I love the way it looks from this, not exactly a side profile, but close enough. But you can see as his skull kind of comes down there under the ear, where it transitions into the neck in a smooth one-piece kind of way. You just can't get that with either one of these two figures because the head and the neck is separate. And I guess that's mainly so you can get to the eyes to move them. But I know Unreal Toys have made a custom sculpt of this that seems to be one piece. I'm going to remind myself and go look at it in a second, but I think it is all just one piece and it manages to just replicate this look perfectly. Because I think this Batman looks really cool from the side profile, because you get a good look at the collar, and especially when the head's leaning forward. But because the head and the neck are two separate pieces on both figures, you just can't really achieve that, because it breaks up and distorts. The light hits it differently. Like, see the way on the Inart figure the light comes down the back of his head there and then suddenly stops because it overlaps the neck too much. And pretty much the same deal with the Hot Toys one. So that is something I do think about quite a lot. I do think I need to talk to Unreal Toys and see if I can get my hands on one of the custom heads, because it just looks stunning. Let's have a quick look at it. Okay, so yes, it seems to be one piece, the head and the neck, which is what I would really want, because then from any angle it's still going to look real. As soon as you turn one of these figures slightly to the side, it kills that illusion that it's really him standing there, because it does have the potential to make you think that, because they are that realistic from certain angles, but that separation of the head and the neck to get access to the eyes really breaks the illusion. So I think there's 10 pictures here to scroll through. Let's see. Wow. Yeah, that is beautiful at the back there. Here. That's what I'm after. Oh man, forget about it. I need to talk to this. I need to talk to this dude. Let's talk. Look at the beautiful leather texture as well. Oh man. Yep. This is the way. Beautiful. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Perfect. Okay, I need to talk to Lucky at Unreal Toys very soon about that. I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about that now. I just found another one. Look at this insanity here. Look at that. I just sent him a message. That's amazing. Let me just scroll back. Beautiful. Yeah, man, look at that. That is absolutely insane. I need it. I needs it in my life. Is that the Hot Toys figure that it goes on? I hope it goes on the Hot Toys one, because that's what I got. I ain't got the Inart. I've got the Hot Toys. The chest plate to me seems more accurate on the Inart here on the left, because it just matches up better with the abs section here and his ribs. I know there is supposed to be a slight difference. I've been staring at these pictures on my phone. I'll show you the ones I've been looking at. But the actual batarang, I'm going to call it, on his chest definitely sits flusher on the Hot Toys. And like I mentioned in the review, I'm not sure if it's just to get access to it, but one side always sticks up. That side there, his right side, doesn't lie flush. And the magnet's very weak. But the magnet's not too strong on this one either. So I do wish the Hot Toys chest plate was a little bit more the same tone that we have here. But I mean, I could always actually, thinking about it, go in with a little subtle bit of black wash and just weather up his midsection there, and then it would match up a little bit better, just to make this a bit darker in places around edges and stuff. And then maybe it would not be such a... It's not a stark contrast between them, you know, but it's just a little bit more consistent over here on the Inart. These sharper lines everywhere on his torso are a little bit more accurate as well, the way they are quite abrupt at the turns and lift off the surface. It's a little bit more kind of smooth edges on the Hot Toys one. I've noticed that's more accurate on the Inart here. And this is one of the images I'm looking at. And it says it's a screen used suit. Notice the sort of tone of the shoulder armour, more like the Inart Hot Toys armour's a bit more black there. But yeah, it does darken up around these edges, then get very light again, then a bit darker, then light, then dark. So it's nice to have these pictures to look at. Another angle there. Yeah, I got some ones from the movie on set as well, just to see it in that kind of lighting. And the usual fodder. There he is. Just really looks like the Unreal Toys one to me. Especially that. I think that's what he was looking at when he was designing it. That perfectly, yeah, oh man. There's no way either one of these figures would look like that for side profile. Let's try that pose and see what it looks like. Okay, yeah, there's a fair bit of collar at the back there. I've tilted both heads forward quite a fair bit. Yeah, the Inart one ain't too bad. It's just, obviously, with the transition between the head and the neck, it just kills that look. And not as abrupt a change with the Hot Toys one, but it's still very obvious. But again, there is a custom neck collar piece on the figure by Hot Toys. But yeah, I'd say Inart definitely takes that pose, even though, like I say, the transition is very obvious, but it ain't too far off. I mean, the matte space of the collar and the neck looks pretty close to me. Just the shape of the head in general, the shape of the cowl just looks better on the Inart on the side profile. Again, his bulbous kind of head syndrome's coming through, like that brain is getting bigger. Oh man, he must have one hell of a migraine. That brain's just throbbing. Brains. No wonder you're so goddamn smart, world's greatest detective. Your brain is bigger than most brains. You could barely fit it in your cowl. Hot Toys, Batman. There is a difference between the ears. The Inart ears are quite devil-like and do have a subtle kind of turn in. And I think the Hot Toys ones are very much just straight up. So I would say there's definitely a difference between the ears between the two. I do quite like the more devil-like look with the Inart ears here on the cowl. It's subtle, but you can see there the one on our left is kind of turning inwards as it gets to the top. And the Hot Toys, they seem to be going straight up to me. Straight up rabbit ears. He's got those rabbit ears and he's got those devil horns. He's feeling horny. Oh, had to do it. Terrible. From the size of his pouches in this picture here from the movie, I would say the Inart pouches seem to be a more accurate size on the belt. Hot Toys ones are considerably longer, bigger. It's not something that would bother me, but definitely seems like the Inart is more accurate in that department. Some beautiful weathering actually. If you see the review I did on the figure, there's a little section where it's outdoors in natural light, and you could really see the trouble they went to on the Inart figure to get that weathering in between all those little crevices. I'm not seeing it so much in here with the artificial light, but check out the review and you'll see the daylight footage. It really shows up the weathering detail. It's pretty impressive. And there's definitely a pretty big difference with the width of the shoulders. Inart, much more kind of wide, a bit more of an intimidating presence, which I do prefer. Sometimes I think the head sculpt might be a fraction small, but I don't know if it is. I think it might be fine. It's just the shoulder armor, which is fine where it is, but obviously that is adding a fair bit of width to the shoulders visually. If you can try to imagine what it looks like without them, you can just remove them, but I don't really want to mess with it too much. It's not my figure. But yeah, now that looks really good to me. And over here with the Hot Toys, I just instantly I see that width of the top of the head kind of just throwing me off every time I look at it now. Especially having this right beside it. It just becomes... we already knew that the Hot Toys head had a bit of a weird shape to it, but having them side by side, it makes it even more clear. The shoulder armor on the Hot Toys is just a bit too dark, I think. Too black. Over here, in places, it's still quite dark, but around the main bulk of it, it's a bit more in keeping with the rest of the tone of the suit, which looks more like what I'm seeing in the reference pictures. The chest plate on the Inart does tend to stick out a fair bit, whereas the Hot Toys one's a bit more flush. I'm going to have a quick look and see if that's meant to be doing that. I just had a look. It doesn't seem like it's supposed to be kind of that raised as it appears on the Inart figure. So, just another little detail. I don't know, I didn't really mess with the chest plate. I had to put the cape on, I think, yeah. When I got him out of the box, I put the cape on, so I had to lift it off once. And I made sure to, not apply too much pressure. Didn't want to take any risks, but I definitely made sure it was on there. But it does seem to be raised up a fair bit. I don't know. Let me know if you've got the Inart Batman. Does your chest plate kind of sit like that? Or if you managed to get it flush like the Hot Toys one here. Curious to know. The gauntlets on the Inart seem more accurate to me. The tone, the colour, everything. Again, it's a bit darker. The main base of the gauntlets here are pretty much just black. And that's not, from what I'm looking at in the reference pictures, not how that's supposed to be. So I would say the Inart is more accurate with those as well. I do love the Inart hands, the gloves. They are very, very well done. The sculpting, the paint, the weathering. There's a lot of love put into these hands. Hot Toys are darker, much darker, and that doesn't seem to be quite accurate to me. But the way Hot Toys and their tactics, this could all be on purpose to justify another one, a 2.0. You can bet your balls that's coming. Then later the 3.0 and so on and so on and so on. But that's the Hot Toys figure right there. That actually looks really nice. Yeah, what are you going to do? You love them, you hate them. Inart haven't been around long enough yet. But out of the gate they've been coming out swinging with their releases. Big time. Everything so far. Well, I've only seen this figure, thanks to Logan, but everything looks pretty stunning. Hot Toys have released hundreds of figures. And I'd say about 80% of them are... let's not get into that, but as much as I have my issues with Hot Toys, there's no denying they're friggin' good at what they do. They got a pretty strong track record. Amazing stuff. I do love the company and hate them at the same time. What are you going to do? Hot Toys hand on the right, Inart on the left. Very, very big difference between these two, and I am going with Inart on the left. Just from what I've seen with the different reference pictures, that seems to be closer to what was actually used in the film. The Hot Toys gloves are basically just black. There really doesn't seem to be too much of a tone difference on those ones. Tread underneath the boots. These are the Hot Toys ones. Very nice, but you do have obviously the Hot Toys Limited in 2023, and then TM trademark DC. And on the Inart, we don't have any of that in the way. So the design though, yep. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, same amount of little star things or whatever they are in the middle. I'm going to go with Inart on this one. I like the tread. I like the more realistic effect here. Well, you got them lying down here. You can also see that the tone of the actual suit is very close to each other. This is Inart. That's Hot Toys. Quite similar tones here. That was the chair, not my bottom. A good look here. Just way more of a weathering effect on the Inart on the left. Everything just seems to be a bit more covered in dust and whatever from his travels. He was pretty dusty by the end of the film, wasn't he? No, not dusty, but covered in mank. He was manky. Oh, look at the weathering on the end of the Hot Toys cape. It's nice, the mud effect. Yeah, again, that's not the cape that he was wearing fresh out of the box. That's the other cape that he came with that I use for my Hot Toys one. Knee pads. Bit of a difference there. Just as, yeah, they look a bit different. The Inart ones seem a bit more naturally kind of blended into the outfit. Hot Toys one's a bit more obvious, a bit more overlapping. Belts are a kind of different colour as well. But I think I heard someone say that, I mean, obviously Logan was talking to me about the boots and other parts of the outfit, where it was all sourced from and how it's like real world stuff that you can get. But I think I heard someone mention about some of the stuff on his belt was like police gear, like maybe those little pouches, because they look kind of like the pouches you get on the old police uniforms back in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, really nice. I like that aspect of it. Now, Merc Bat, who is Logan, who sent me the figure to review, he just sent me earlier today some really detailed messages about the boots and how he loves the suit as much as I love the Batman Begins suit. And he was doing lots of research on the boots, and he said all the parts of the Batsuit were meant to be things that Bruce Wayne could actually find in, like military surplus stores or whatever. I don't know where you get military stuff, but he knew all the words. I was just going to play his message because he says everything, but I don't know if I got permission to do that. So, but yeah, he says he's got pictures here of the boots. I think these are ones that he's got. But yeah, I think he says something about Russian boots or something. There's these messages here, they got all the details, but I don't know if he wants me to play it or not. So, but yeah, I couldn't tell you honestly which ones are more accurate to the real ones from the movie, because they're darker on the Hot Toys, more weathered and dusty on the Inart. I mean, I like the look of the Inart better, but the Hot Toys boots do a better job of holding them up. It's just more sturdy, even with the cutaway for articulation on the Hot Toys, same as the Inart. They both have the split there for articulation, but the Hot Toys one just seems more sturdy, and you don't really need a stand with him. He stands up really well. But the Hot Toys one's no slouch. I mean, look, it's an accident. You get these little accidents when you're filming and the light's in a really weird place, and you just pan up and you think, holy shit, that looks real. I mean, that looks really, really good. That's the Hot Toys one. Even the transition of the head and the neck looks pretty smooth there. Again, we got the custom neck piece. I believe, again, that's the Unreal Toys custom collar. Might also be a custom neck, I forget. But it's all on the channel. But that looks really good. And then back to the Inart. See, now, right now, the way things have kind of worked out, I prefer the way that looks on the Hot Toys. Just for this exact moment, that's all I'm saying. That's the Inart. That's the Hot Toys. But it's all lighting, isn't it? It's always all about lighting. Right now we have too much light, because the light is right there. Yeah, those are the boots from the movie. And they seem like originally they would have been quite shiny, and then all the weathering's kind of beaten them down a fair bit. Some heavy weathering on the Inart boots. I think the yellow trim around the top's more accurate on the Inart. It's a little bit too in-your-face yellow on the Hot Toys, and plus they just look a bit too dark to me. But then again, they are quite dark here. Come out a bit. There we go. Also the strap around the leg there, see that? Holds his holster on. Notice the distance between the straps. That's the Inart, that seems accurate. And the Hot Toys, well, my one anyway, the straps are quite far apart. It's a little detail, but it's all the little details, isn't it, that coming together. I mean, overall the outfit on the Inart just seems more accurate overall across the board. And of course, with the Hot Toys one, you get this empty cowl that has the neck and the head as one piece. So, oh man, that's what I wish it was for the actual head sculpt. Because I was just looking over at the Inart empty cowl, and that's only the top section. But with the Hot Toys one, I've got the head and the cowl as one piece empty. So that would actually look really cool. Did I ever do that? Did I ever take the head off and just put this on there like it's an empty suit standing there on display? Because that would look sick. I mean, if you put this on the Inart and made it look like the suit was on display, let's try that, possibly. Alright, so that's the Hot Toys empty cowl on the Hot Toys body. Did I ever try that? I don't think I tried that before, but that looks really cool. I had to stick some blue tack down there, otherwise it sits too low and the neck disappears, and it's still probably a little bit too low. But let's check out the side profile to see what it would look like with a seamless head and neck. Alright, so there we go from the side, and yeah, I wish it was like that. Beautiful seamless look. I mean, you could always try and wedge one of the mouth plates in there, but what are you going to do about the eyes? But that does look cool. Shall we try it on the Inart? Well, again, I've had to use blue tack, but yeah, that's what the empty cowl from Hot Toys, that is one solid head and neck piece, looks like on the Inart suit. It's pretty badass. Just really makes me wish they had have maybe included a second head that was seamless, because it looks so much more accurate and real. Don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance to show you that again, so I'll just linger on it for a minute and let you soak it up. I'll turn him to the front, but you might see the blue tack. Well, that's a nice angle right there. You can see a little bit of blue tack in the mouth area there. But yeah, that looks sweet. Seamless. Clean. Yep. So again, empty cowl by Hot Toys on the Inart figure. And I'll just get it from this angle as well for you. And it does look very good. Matches up with the continuation of that kind of middle of the neck there really well. Nice amount of space between the collar and the neck here. I mean, that wouldn't make a bad display if you had both figures. You could maybe rock one of them like this for a little while. It is very kind of museum-like. You could have your Bruce Wayne with the, what was it, the all-in version with the Inart, Bruce Wayne in a suit standing next to this. You know it's coming. Forget about it. This could have been a video all by itself. A video on the Inart Batman with the Hot Toys empty cowl, because it looks amazing. It really does. It's giving me proper museum vibes. If you could do this with all of your 1/6 scale Batman suits, you have a Batman Begins standing there with no head inside it, Dark Knight suit, Ben Affleck stuff, Michael Keaton suits, and this all in a row, nicely lit. Ooh, that would be classy. You'd be the envy of all your collector brethren. Man. Well, I have to move on, but that's beautiful. It's really nice. What do you think? I was having a little rummage on Sideshow Freaks on the thread for the Inart Batman, just to see if anyone was talking about the review that went up. A few people talking about it, and I appreciate what everyone's saying. And there was one chap who mentioned, and I'm not putting him on blast because I'm just mentioning this because he is right, and I just feel it's worth touching on what he said. He said, what was it? Yeah, that I'm not really an expert on this suit. And that's true, because I love the Batman Begins one I've had since 2005 to obsess over that suit. And I think the Batman movie came out in 2022, just 2 years ago. Time flies, but it still feels like such a new thing. So I really do feel like I'm a bit of a, is it a layman you call it? A bit of a noob when it comes to this, even though I've had the Hot Toys one for a good while. But I do feel confident enough looking at both of these together to say that I do believe the Inart is just overall the more accurate looking. The chap on Sideshow Freaks also said that he kind of got the impression I wasn't as invested in this movie as other Batman films, and that's absolutely fair. Definitely, obviously, as you all know, I'm obsessed with Batman Begins. I do really like The Dark Knight, but when they changed the suit, I really could never quite get over that. And The Dark Knight Rises obviously doesn't feature the Begins suit, so I always have a bit of a back of my mind somewhere. I'm always a little bit disappointed watching that as well. I know that's a bit silly, but I just love that damn suit from the first movie so much. But it was cool how they incorporated it into the story about him wanting to be able to turn his head and stuff. Totally fair enough. I just missed the animal-like scariness of the Batman Begins. It was just so cool. And 2005, when I saw that film for the first time, I was 25 years old. It was absolutely pure magic. I could happily go back and re-experience that day all over again, seeing Batman Begins for the first time before social media became what it is today. You know, YouTube started in 2005, the same year Batman Begins came out, I think, around then. Same for Facebook, I think. So there just wasn't any hype behind that film. There was no social media pushing it the way that we have today. It's getting more intense every year. I mean, that Robert Downey Jr. just announced the thing about him being Doctor Doom or whatever. Oh man, that's a desperate move by Marvel. Oh man, it's like, really? Okay. Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as a different character. Fair enough. It's fine. Might be great. Who knows? But it's different times, folks. Star Wars movies have become, and the shows have become just awful. Mandalorian Season 2 was the last. Apparently Andor's good. We're getting off topic, big time. But yes, the chap on Sideshow Freaks, absolutely right. I am no expert on this suit, but I do really like it. And I'm just, fortunate enough to have them both in front of me right now. So just sharing me thoughts and the footage, and hopefully it can help you guys make some decisions. And I love the film. Really, it's great detective film. Not my favourite Batman movie, you know that, but it'd be up there. I'd have to think about it, what my top 5 Batman films would be. Just off the top of my head, I'm going to say obviously Batman Begins number 1. Then I might put a Keaton film at number 2. Can't decide between 89 and Returns at this very moment. Both great films. Probably go 89 to be honest, because of the memories. I was 8 or 9 years old when I saw that in the cinema in Dublin. That was a magical day as well. And obviously the Batman, quite a long movie in 2022. I think it was 3 hours, but I went and saw that twice at the cinema. So it's good stuff. Maybe top 3 for me, the Batman. And I didn't think I'd ever be saying that, because I wasn't happy about Robert Pattinson being cast as him, but he did good. He looks good in the suit, so fair play to him. No problem with seeing him back in the sequel. Looking forward to seeing more. And yeah. And that is the Hot Toys head, blue tacked onto the neck of the Inart figure. Had to use blue tack. It's still a little bit low, but that's about as best as I can do right now, just to let you see what the Hot Toys head sculpt looks like on the Inart figure. It's not really working for me. But for those of you that might say that the Inart head sculpt is a little bit too small, then the Hot Toys head being slightly wider at least, maybe that's looking good to you. Let me know. And unfortunately, I can't really show you what the Inart head sculpt looks like on the Hot Toys body, because I think this is the Unreal Customs neck, or possibly the Hot Toys neck. But I'm assuming it's the Unreal Customs neck that goes with the collar that's currently on the figure. But yeah, the Inart head sculpt doesn't quite sit on there right, so he's got a very, very long neck. But I thought I'd try for you. Okay, and here are the Bruce Wayne heads on their respective figures. You've got obviously Hot Toys on the right, Inart on the left. And it seems to be a bit of a size difference between these two head sculpts. I mean, the hair is obviously making that look bigger. Like if he was shaved head, bald, I think his head would look quite small there. Yeah, there's a pretty big difference. I mean, obviously one's got sculpted hair here, and then we've got the actual rooted hair. So let's get in, move around. I mean, it's an amazing sculpt. If this had rooted hair, I think that would be, you know, extremely impressive. I think the likeness is very strong. But wow, it just looks really real, the Inart version. Turn down the brightness a little bit, there we go. Yeah, that's just incredibly lifelike. But very strong likeness on Hot Toys, look at that. Very strong likeness, perfect I think. And he does come with the more messy hair option for the look. So yeah, no issues with the Hot Toys likeness at all. I think it's very, very strong, and I often do prefer sculpted hair just because you don't have to mess around with it, but there's no denying, you know, this rooted hair looks incredibly good. It's very, very real, undeniable. Just, it's on a different level. And the eyes as well, there's something about them, they are very, very lifelike. I love the way the eyebrows have been done as well, very well painted. Makeup's done well around the eyes, the bone structure, the jaw, color of the lips to the skin, and the stubble. But then this looks amazing as well, so debatable, back and forth. I really do like both. Just get it a bit more from the side. See, now from this angle, even though the rooted hair is more realistic, there's just something really right about the way that looks on the Hot Toys one. I mean, you could say maybe I haven't got the hairline lined up correctly, because something looks a bit funky right at the top of his forehead there. What's going on there? Is that something I've done wrong? It's not really connected on there very securely. That's another thing with the Hot Toys. It's certainly not like the Inart, which kind of really goes on there with a nice strong magnet, and you're allowed to get all kinds of cool movement. It's creepy when you see it moving like that, because it just looks even more real. Wow, look at that. Yeah, amazing stuff from Hot Toys. And he hasn't quite got the light in his eyes because I had the light in the other one's eyes, so I'll just put the light there. There you go. Yeah, I'm not sure which one I'd land on, to be honest. I thought it would be a clear-cut case of Inart, but I have to say I do still really like the Hot Toys head sculpt for Bruce Wayne. Of course, there is that obvious situation where Hot Toys, the way the cape kind of came over his shoulders and joined at the front was not very accurate to the film. You kind of had to do a little mod to try and get it to line up a bit more accurately, but you don't have to do that with the Inart cape. It seems to be accurate, yeah, the way it all comes together at the front there. Okay folks, I think it's time to wrap it up. I've just finished up by having them both displayed as just purely the suit, no Bruce Wayne inside it. Again, Inart on the left, Hot Toys on the right. So final thoughts, they're both excellent figures. I gotta say, I think the Inart overall is the more accurate of the two, and that's pretty much the end of it. I have the Hot Toys one, like so many of us do, and I don't feel utterly, broken-hearted by having this one, having seen this Inart figure now. I still really like my Hot Toys one. There's a lot to love about it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with choosing this one. If you're just more familiar with Hot Toys stuff and you feel safer with that, fair enough, because it's a great looking piece. That's all Hot Toys that you're seeing there, apart from the collar, of course, which is custom, but everything else is all, cape included. That's all Hot Toys good stuff right there, with the empty cowl they provide with the figure, which looks really nice. But overall, I'd have to give it to Inart. Just a very accurate piece. And I forget now, was this their first figure? 1/6 scale? I could be wrong. But if it was, even if it was their second, then, hats off for an amazing job. Okay folks, let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. If it's turned out to be really long, I apologise. I feel like I've been in here for about 6 hours filming this on and off. So I hope you enjoy it. Please drop a like on the video if you did, and subscribe if you haven't done already, and check me out on Instagram at DeanKnight333 for plenty of pictures. And again, thank you to Logan for making these videos possible, sending me his Inart Batman. Very kind. Alright folks, take it easy. See you soon. Bye bye.